to handle. For him, it was a hunter's wet dream. At every opportunity on his way up to the border, he'd stopped at libraries and internet cafes, casting out his lines, dangling his lures like delicate dry flies, ever so gently, upon the surfaces of cyber pools and eddies where he felt his prey might be lurking in shadows, holding against the currents, waiting. Watching for he stilled as something snared his attention. Mother looking for 11-year-old. Quickly, he clicked on the link. Not a match. Wrong birth date. Wrong physical type. He rubbed the whiskers on his jaw. The hair dye irritated his skin. Overall, this was a crapshoot. Perhaps she'd already reconnected with the kid. Maybe she didn't want to know. Maybe she was happily married, had moved on, or was dead. But a hunter, a good hunter, possessed patience. He trusted his gut, and he always knew the mind and habits of his prey. Psychological profiling cut two ways, and he knew Sarah Baker. He'd owned Sarah Baker. He'd studied her for 9 careful months before trapping her. She'd been fully his for another 5.5 months, until he'd taken a risk born of hubris. A stupid mistake. Words from his childhood sifted suddenly like smoke through his mind. The only time you ever take a shot at last light, boy, is if you're confident it's going to be a clean kill shot, or you must be prepared to track down your wounded animal through the dark. Alone. You finish that job no matter what. No matter how many days or nights it takes, no matter how hungry or tired you get. You hear me, boy? He'd prolonged the pleasure of his last spring hunt too long. He'd waited until very last light to take his final kill shot. He'd missed. She'd fired back and wounded him instead, and she'd slipped into the blackness of the forest. But he felt in his bones that after she'd licked her wounds, Sarah Baker would come looking, if she hadn't already. Motherhood was a powerful lure, and compassion, curiosity, openness, all her weaknesses. It was how he'd gotten her in the first place. He opened another page, more messages, all sorts, mothers, fathers, aunts, brothers, cousins, kids, searching for their castaway blood. Some searches were being conducted on behalf of others. Other times it was for themselves. It bemused him, really, this deep-seated craving in humans for a sense of family, belonging, identity. Roots. Home. To be wanted, needed, to understand why someone might have chosen to toss them aside as babies. He was about to shut down the last page when a response to his last post suddenly blipped through. His heart kicked. I had a daughter born at Watt Lake Community Hospital. She would be turning 12 next summer. Dark hair, green eyes, a small heart-shaped birthmark behind her left knee. Do you feel this could be you? The reply came from a user called Fisher Girl. Quickly, he clicked through to Fisher Girl's profile. No photo. Just an image of a trout leaping on the end of a line, droplets glittering in sunshine. No public access to her timeline or other information, but there she was, live, online, right now. He felt the gentle underwater tug, the nibble on his line. Well, fuck me. This made sense. Made fucking sense. He'd first discovered Sarah Baker behind the counter of a sporting goods store up in Watt Lake, a store owned by her husband's family. Sarah had been an expert angler and a hunter, adept at tracking both animal and man. It was her wilderness survival skill set that had really excited him. After the others, he'd wanted a real challenge. He'd wanted to up the ante, pique the thrill. He'd gotten what he wanted. And then some. Gamos, he whispered to himself. His mother once told him that in the context of hunting, the word game was derived from the ancient Greek word gamos.